my studio. I just wanted to share a flip through of a journal I just completed. This is sort of an autumnal theme journal with those kind of 70s avocado green and harvest gold and some of the oranges and browns, but it has an overall autumnal theme. This is the dashboard. I don't have it in the book because I just finished this and it is still a little bit damp, but that's for writing. But here is the journal. The journal is 6 inches wide. It is 9 inches tall, and it has a 2 1/4 inch spine. It has 4 signatures, and I've underdone this a little bit because I figure if someone fills it out, you're going to need a little bit of wiggle room. So I didn't didn't want it to fluff out too much. You have a total of front and back pages all together, 148 surfaces in this book. It is made from an old accounting book, and this is some vintage wallpaper from the late 60s and some vintage velvet on the spine and on the back. And I didn't do anything real elaborate to the front of this. I did consider it, and I auditioned several things, but honestly I wanted it to kind of look like one of those really pretty Reader's Digest books that just sort of has a little bit of solid and then a little bit of print. So that's what I did. And this is some vintage trim here on there. It's just closed with the leather tie. The tie has some beading on it, and it has a little faux acorn and an acrylic leaf, a resin leaf that I poured, and everything's been beaded. And let's just jump right inside to see what it looks like. This was a kit that was in my shop. For whatever reason, the kit didn't sell, so I made it up into a journal. It's the last one of these kits. I've been working on these for several weeks to try to get these journals done, and now they are done, and I'm very excited about that. And I just had that wrapped around there like 3 times. So here we go into the book. The inside is wallpaper, more of the vintage wallpaper. That little edge right there is up. I'll have to glue that down. Okay, well, it's vintage wallpaper. Then this is a print from an old book that I copied about mushrooms, about, you know, which ones are edible and which ones are not. A little stamping, and this is on parchment paper. This is an old book page that's been doubled, and I'm not sure. That may be German. I'm not sure what that is. This was the flyleaf of an old book. I like the color and the pine cone. Then here we've got more of that vintage wallpaper, and inside here there's a little bird tag. Just a little collage on a coffee stain tag. Some sheet music. I don't know if you can see it or not, there's a little sketch of a leaf on there. Here is a tip-in page that was added. There's a little paperclip acorn, and this is a paint swatch, but I just glued it to the back of some of that wallpaper to make a little tag. Then on the other side of the tip-in, there's just a little watercolor, some more of the parchment paper. There was this wood-grained gold paper. On the back of it, there's a little booklet, and it unties us. I call it a booklet. I don't really know what it calls. It's kind of a pocket thing. And you open it out like this, and inside I've taken some photographs that I took, and I have printed them just on plain copy paper and glued them to craft card to make some little journaling cards. But these are just photographs from things around my house. Tree. And some little seedlings. And tree roots. There we go. So, actually this one was not taken near my house. This was taken near my grandmother's house. This one was. So just say that one is not in my, that's not my house. And there's some resin paper on here. This is a little photograph and a little wooden leaf. And you just tie that closed. Then there's some paper from an old botany workbook. It's a piece of a natural history book about birds. Some scrapbook paper. Another tip-in. This is a handmade piece of paper. And this is a eco-dyed print. Looks like a piece of cedar or something on there. More of the same. You know, just the other side of those pages. Here's another little acorn paper clip with a little tag. It's a little collage of bunnies with a little writing space on the back. On more of that paper, more stamping. These are all just kind of, there's a little acorn stamp. The back sides of that, just a little bit of lace edging on there. Another mushroom. So we're to the second signature. Some hand-painted paper, and I believe this bird was off of a calendar. I can't remember. This is just some tea bag and painting. This is a photograph I took in my backyard of an owl, and this is folds out so you can journal there. Then on the back side it's a pocket, and in there's a vintage postcard that you can journal on. More parchment, some scrapbook paper. It's got coffee and stamping on the back. Most of these papers are dyed, some are, some aren't. Here's another eco dye page on both sides. Here's just a little stationery page. I took some pressed leaves and scanned these and excuse me, printed them out on paper, then glued them to craft card to make some embellishments for this book. So this is a real leaf that was copied. Some handmade paper. Getting to the center of the signature, we've got a owl. Just some more sheets of plain paper. Here we've got a belly band with the vintage wallpaper. A little tag that you can. And there are some painted papers that you can just journal on. Just some painted book pages in various colors of the oranges. Here's a, this is a hand-carved stamp that I did. And put it on tissue paper and put it on here. And in there's a little journaling card. And it's double-sided. There's a little photo on the back. And on the other side, there's a paper clip with little leaves and another paint chip. And this is another, these are more of those leaves that I copied to make little embellishments for this. There we go. More coffee and stamping, parchment and stamping. Another one of those postcards. And we're to the end of that signature. And this is a hand-painted page. This is just a little, it's yellow stone crop. It's like an herb, I think. And it's just something that I put in there as like a little flip that you could obscure your journaling behind it. Another mushroom. I used the mushrooms at the first of the signatures. So, and there is, repeats pretty much of everything. Some book pages, some shorthand, a little insect guide from the Natural Museum of History, I think. On this side you have a little envelope, and it opens, and inside there's just a teeny tiny tag. The little wooden leaf and some lace, and this has got the little wooden leaf on it. And let's tuck that under. We've got more, this is more of the botany workbook. This is another leaf that I copied, and I had originally meant for this to be a tuck spot. It really wasn't working out. It was catching, so I ended up just gluing it down, and I thought it would be cool just to journal around the edges of it. So that is another press leaf. More of that workbook. More paper there. There's another side of that insect page. Another one of those hand-carved stamp pieces. It's just kind of folded around the page. This is another paper clip. This is, oops, am I stuck on? This one's actually a pocket. So there's a tag in the pocket of the paper clip. And it just clips on the edge of the page here. And I think I had something clipped on the back and I just took it off. I did. Another tag that's wallpaper and another sample, paint sample. More of that. Okay, here's the last signature. Some painted paper and some monarch butterflies. Some of that scrapbook paper that looks like bark. More eco dyeing. More eco dyeing. Coffee and stamping. Now a lot of these are left plain, and that is because primarily I wanted this to be a writing journal or to have places where someone else, whoever got the book, would be filling it with their own things. There's another one of those copied leaves and some handmade paper and parchment. A pretty painting of mums. Something on there. Another one of those leaves that I copied. This is more of the coffee and stamping. Here's some more watercolors. This one opens up. This one is a flip up that you can journal underneath. This is another, some of my hand carved stamps, and I found this photo of these mountains, and you could just turn it into a tag and you could journal on the back of it. And here we have a little squirrel and a little squirrel pocket. There's a cute little tag to go with it. And inside here, there is a little folder. Just a cute little file folder. And it is, you know, from old book pages. No, it's a, I guess it's a file pocket. I couldn't remember if I made that into a folder or a pocket. There we go with that. And we are coming to the very end of the book. There's a big acorn, and you open it, and there's journaling. There's also a pocket back there. And there is a blank tag that you could journal on. So that is the book. I see one little thing I need to, that piece of paper in the front is loose. So I will get that. And then your dashboard, which is for when you're working in the journal. You can slide it under your page, put this down, and write and have a really solid surface. So the dashboard is included. I will not be listing this book anytime soon with everything that's going on. I wanted to go ahead and do the flip through, possibly give someone else some ideas of, you know, some things they could do to decorate their own book. And I will be listing this later. I'm going to let everything settle down. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining me. I hope you are all well and healthy and safe, and that, you know, maybe, you know, for you, like for me, you know, maybe your creativity is helping you to de-stress in this, you know, time we're in. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me, and I will see you around the studio.